What's up, everyone? Luke X Hunter here, back at it again, talking about the Switch 2. So today I want to talk about the Switch 2 graphics. A lot of people have been comparing it to the PS5. I mean, I don't want to go that far, but I definitely want to start off, talk about Switch to Switch 2 comparisons. Then we can start talking about how it compares to the Xbox Series S, X, even the PS4, PS5. Let's get right into it. So let's start off and talk about the Switch compared to the Switch 2. So I'll put up some of the specs here on the side and we can take a look. So the normal Switch has 4 cores and the Switch 2 has 8 cores. So bumping up those CPU cores gonna give us a lot of extra performance here. You can see that the Switch 2 has faster cores, especially when it's in docked mode. So that's gonna give us a lot of performance boost when we have it plugged into the TV, boost those resolutions up to 4K. You can see down below, they do reserve a couple of those cores for the OS. So 2 cores for the OS, 6 cores for devs, aka 6 cores for your games to run on. Let's go down to GPU clock speeds here. We can just see overall the GPU clock speeds are boosted, both docked and handheld, which is great. Next, we're going to go down to memory. So faster memory, 128-bit compared to 64-bit. LPDDR4 compared to LPDDR5. This is just overall what this means: faster memory, better games, higher resolution assets. So can't go wrong with that. It's going to make our games run better, look better, and feel smoother. So the Switch 2 memory, we see that the Switch 2 has 3 gigabytes compared to the normal Switch 0.8 gigabytes. I think we're going to get a lot of features packed into that OS. Obviously, we have that mouse support that could potentially be using some of that operating system, but really we want to see extra features such as themes. Anything that we can help personalize, customize our systems would be fantastic. All right, so now I'm going to jump into some comparisons here. So we're first going to look at a comparison between the Switch and the Switch 2. Starting off with Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. I'm a huge Pokemon fan. You can see here, we've got the Mewtwo shirt on today, but we are getting huge improvements here on the Switch 2 version of Scarlet and Violet. A lot of the spawn rates are going to be increased. A lot of the textures and resolutions are going to be increased. I don't know exactly what resolution it's going to get bumped up to, but 1080p handheld 4K docked would be amazing. I don't know if we're going to get that high, but honestly, anything's better than the original release of Scarlet and Violet on the Switch. That thing ran terribly. So if we can get a solid 30 FPS, I would love 60, but I'll take a solid 30 with no drops in that open world. And it looks like we're going to get some ray tracing here, seeing a lot more lighting effects and better shadows. So overall, environment's going to feel more immersive, look better, run smoother, and I can't wait to jump back into Scarlet and Violet on the Switch 2. Moving on to newer games, obviously, being a huge Pokemon fan, I'm ready for Legends ZA. It's going to have all these new open world aspects, and hopefully with the performance boost of the Switch 2, it's going to look and run a lot smoother. I'm going to highlight a couple images here that I grabbed from Twitter. We're seeing a lot of particles, more particles in the Switch 2 version compared to the normal Switch version. So this is leading me to believe that the assets, higher resolution textures, more lighting effects, we're going to see moves on the Pokemon run smoother, probably have better effects, and overall, can't go wrong with any of that. Okay, so next we're going to go into the more controversial comparison, Yakuza 0. So we're seeing some comparisons here that I've seen posted going around online. PS5 compared to Switch 2. Some people are saying that they think the Switch 2 looks better. This is debatable. They both look pretty good. What I have noted here, though, is this is not necessarily a game built for the PS5. This is a PS4 version running on backwards compatibility on the PS5. So people need to take that into consideration. The Switch 2 version of Yakuza 0, This is natively built for the Switch 2. So overall, it will look, feel, run better, but it's nowhere near as powerful as a game that's built for the PS5 natively. The PS5, think about it, has a lot more cooling, a lot bigger of a GPU, faster memory. The list goes on. There's so many more improvements of that PS5. HDMI 2.1. I really can't say enough. The PS5 is a beast. For the money that you get out of it, it is a beast. But the portability, the handheld feature of the PS5, they want you to buy a whole nother console and then connect to your PS5 when you're on the go. Internet's not that great. I don't know. PS Portal is not what the Switch 2 is. The Switch 2 is that one in all-in-one. That Switch 2 is the all-in-one system where you can plug it into your TV. You can take it on the go. It does have boosted performance mode on the TV, but the to-go features are looking just as great. So if we want to just dive into the details we see here on the picture, I think that the Switch 2 version definitely has better lighting. Looks a little bit more realistic. The particles on the facial hair, you could see a little bit higher resolution on the skin texture. The hair, you could see a little bit more texture, a little bit more muted on that PS5 version. Overall, both looks pretty good. You're not going to notice any of this stuff while you're actually playing the game. Both are going to look, feel great. So overall, the Switch 2 compared to the PS5, I think is a night and day comparison. I haven't showed really any examples of the PS5 running a lot better, but you can find a million of those out there. We won't get a full understanding of the Switch 2's capabilities until we get it in hand here within the next week or so. So please stay tuned. We'll show you some more comparisons. We're going to show you some unboxings. We're going to show you as much as possible here in the coming weeks. And thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and have a great day. Peace.